The laughter died the moment I walked in. It wasn't loud, just that peculiar hush that follows a misstep in a conversation, a pause too deliberate to be casual. The ballroom lights glimmered against the champagne flutes, and in the center of the crowd stood my wife, Emily, her hand resting a little too comfortably on her boss's chest as they laughed together. Her fingers slid away the instant she saw me. "Michael!" she exclaimed, the sound too bright, too rehearsed. "You made it." I smiled, tight and controlled, my jaw aching. "Of course. Wouldn't miss your big night." The room resumed its rhythm, chatter flowing again, but I felt every eye flicker toward us, then away. Emily's colleagues had always looked at me differently, like a side character in her story, an appendage. But tonight there was something else. Pity, maybe. Or fear. Her boss, Daniel Reed, extended a hand. He was taller than I expected, lean, confident, the kind of man who never needed to introduce himself twice. "Good to finally meet the mystery husband," he said. "Emily talks about you all the time." I shook his hand, feeling his grip linger half a second too long. "All good things, I hope." He grinned. "Mostly." Emily let out a forced laugh, her eyes pleading with me to play along. I did. I'd always played along. Dinner was served, speeches given, awards handed out. Emily's team had closed a massive deal, and Reed made sure to toast her personally. His words were drenched in admiration. Too personal, too warm. "To Emily," he said, lifting his glass. "The woman who turns chaos into brilliance." The table erupted in applause. I clapped too, but my stomach twisted. "Woman," he said, "not employee." I'd heard enough of those toasts before. Years in corporate events teach you what's professional praise and what's something else. Emily leaned toward me. "Please don't read into it," she whispered. I turned to her, voice calm. "Into what?" She didn't answer. Later, as the music swelled and couples began to dance, Reed approached again. "Come on, man, dance with your wife," he teased. "Show us how it's done." Emily laughed nervously, glancing at me, then back at him. "Oh, Michael doesn't really." But I stood, offered my hand, and led her to the dance floor. Her body was tense against mine. I could feel her pulse racing through her wrist. "You're angry," she murmured. "I'm observant," I said softly. "There's a difference." "Michael, please." "Does he know?" I asked, cutting her off. She froze. "What do you mean?" "If he knows who I really am." Her brow furrowed. "You're my husband." "What are you talking about?" I smiled faintly. "That's one part of it." She stared, confused, but before she could answer, Reed approached, interrupting us with a clap on my shoulder. "Mind if I steal her for a song?" The kind of audacity that comes from power. I stepped aside, letting him lead her. His hand settled on her waist, lower than appropriate. She didn't resist. I watched them move together under the lights, her laughter ringing a little too easily. The world blurred at the edges. My mind replayed every late night she'd stayed at the office, every muted phone call, every perfume that wasn't hers on her jacket. And yet, watching her smile, I still wanted to believe her. An hour later, I excused myself, heading toward the balcony overlooking the city. Cool air hit my face, grounding me. The skyline glittered below, oblivious. "Hell of a view," Reed's voice came from behind. I didn't turn. "It is." He joined me, drink in hand. "You're quieter than I expected. Emily said you were a lawyer, right?" "Was," I said. "Now I handle corporate investigations." That made him pause. "Investigations?" I turned slightly, catching his expression. "Internal affairs, due diligence, that kind of thing." He smirked. "Sounds like you dig into people's secrets." "Sometimes," I said. "Mostly, I find out who's lying." His grin faltered. I let the silence hang just long enough before I spoke again. "You know, Daniel, when you invite someone to your office party, you probably shouldn't assume you know who they are." He frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" "I'm the consultant your board hired," I said quietly, "to audit your firm's executive conduct. Conflict of interest, misuse of resources. Inappropriate relationships. His face drained of color. You're joking. Am I? I held his gaze. You think I came here as just her husband? He took a step back, glancing toward the ballroom. Emily didn't. She doesn't know, I said. Not yet. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. Somewhere inside, the band started playing again, the bass line muffled through the glass. He tried to recover, straightening his tie. Look, whatever you think you know. I know enough, I cut in. Her work laptop. The messages. The hotel receipts on the company card. Reed's jaw tightened. Then you also know it's none of your business. I laughed quietly. It's exactly my business. Emily appeared in the doorway, panic flickering across her face when she saw us. What's going on? Reed turned toward her, voice steady. Your husband here has quite the imagination. But she wasn't looking at him. She was looking at me, at the quiet fury in my eyes. Michael, she whispered. Please don't do this here. Do what? Asked softly. Expose the truth. Or keep pretending like the last 6 months never happened. Her eyes filled with tears. I made a mistake. The words hit like a blade. Not denial. Not outrage. Just admission. Reed stepped forward. Emily. Don't, she snapped at him before turning back to me. It wasn't supposed to happen. He was just convenient. Finished. She didn't answer. The city hummed below us, neon reflections flickering across her face. I could see the woman I'd loved, the woman I thought I knew, unraveling before me. I stayed, I said quietly, through everything. Your late nights, your excuses, your silences. I wanted to believe you were just working hard for us. I was, she said, voice trembling. Until I wasn't. I stepped closer, my voice barely above a whisper. Do you know what the cruelest part is, Emily? You didn't just betray me. You made me doubt myself. Her tears fell freely now, mascara streaking down her cheeks. I'm sorry. Reed's voice broke the moment. Maybe we should all. Shut up, I snapped, eyes locked on him. He went still. Then I turned to Emily one last time. The report goes to your board in the morning. They'll know everything. Her lips parted. You wouldn't. Watch me. I walked past them both, leaving the city's cold wind at my back. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a single message from her. You destroyed everything. I stared at the words for a long time before replying. No, Emily. You did. I just stopped pretending not to see it. I hit send, set the phone down, and finally let the silence settle around me. Didn't feel like victory. It felt like the hollow space left after a storm, when everything is quiet but nothing is whole.